Afternoon all. Someone called MikeS98 has sent me a game and become a member of chessbowl.net as part of the YouTube video annotation promotion. So if over the summer till maybe the end of August as an experiment, if you become a full member of chessbowl.net, I will video annotate one or two games of your choice. Just message me the PGN game scores and hopefully a story as well. That'd be nice behind the games, and I'll include that in the video. So MikeS98 has sent me this game. His story is this: I just started playing chess and I'm a big fan of your videos. If anything, I'm a chess fan more than a chess player, as I probably spend more time watching your videos than I do playing. That being said, I thought it would be interesting to see you annotate a blitz game that I just played as white against another complete beginner. It would be great to get your thoughts on typical mistakes that beginners tend to make and to get some advice on how to improve. In the game we have dodgy openings, slow development, pawn sacks, uncastled kings, and a queen getting kicked all over the board. Hopefully your analysis can provide some help to players like me and a good laugh for everyone else. So MikeS playing white played d4 and his opponent played d5. So both players are around 1100, 1200. Now this is a very, very common reply, just to kind of symmetrically treat it as though it was e4, just play d5. It looks very, very logical, and many players will play d5. The first thing to note that against d4, actually knight f6 is a very, very powerful alternative to consider in your games against d4. In the hypermoderns, as they were called, so you don't actually have to literally occupy the center at first, and it especially applies when d4 is played. If you played knight f6 against e4, you really have to know what you're doing in the Alekhine defense. But against d4, the first thing to note, you can follow the hypermodern ideas and see what white does before committing the center. So, but yeah, d5 is a very respectable move, of course. Now might continue with c4, very powerful and very good move, the Queen's Gambit, and it was accepted, which is again a very, very common thing to accept it, this pawn, thinking, isn't this just a free pawn? The thing is, it's dangerous if you don't know really your Queen's Gambit accepted theory. If white is going to regain this pawn with greater development, then sometimes it's a big problem, and it's even a bigger problem if black will try and cling on to the pawn now at all costs. White played e4 and black actually played b5. This can lead to big trouble. Now in the game, white played knight c3. For example, okay, now say white plays a4, then a6, you just take, and there's a pin against the rook, so you can't play that. And okay, so that's difficult. And if c6, this could lead to trouble as well. Say taking a knight c3, okay, and it starts to get again tricky to hold on to the pawn. But let me step back a sec. On this e4, also another alternative is to keep this diagonal free. So actually to play e3 is also another interesting and powerful move. If black tries the clinging onto the pawn approach, it's even more punished. Okay, a6, we've got the same thing with this pin, but if c6, we've got this diagonal to try and exploit with a queen move like f3. So for example, takes, and we've got queen f3, for example, here. You see how dangerous that is for black to try and cling on to c4. And in this position also, if bishop a6, and this is something I learned a long time ago from, I think it was a book called 500 Master Games of Chess. You have takes, knight c3. Okay, now if c6, again we've got the diagonal problem with queen f3, punishing that diagonal. But maybe knight d7 here actually. Maybe I've missed out on something even more important. After c6, but let's not get into that for a moment. I just want to show you this little trick. If bishop a6, there's a very neat move here for white to punish black's play and actually gain material immediately. If I give you 10 seconds, I hope most of you know this, but let's just make sure. 10 seconds starting from here. Okay, rook takes a6, which also emphasises this diagonal. This diagonal here, so that after takes you have check, and you're picking up 2 pieces for the rook. And again, c4 is still going to drop, and it's fragmented pawns. So this is a big problem in many people's games. They're taking this pawn without knowing the Queen's Gambit accepted theory. e3 could be especially punishing to punish this diagonal if black's really going to try and cling on to the pawn. But in the game, okay, e4 was played, b5, and now knight c3, a6, and now b3, which is interesting. It's going to increase white's development. Okay, so c takes, queen takes, offering another pawn, d4. So, Mike, even though you're beginning, you're playing aggressively. You're emphasising your lead in development. So your opponent, higher rated, is being a bit greedy here. I think your opponent will remain anonymous, actually. So it's not a real name game, so I think, I hope you don't mind, I'll keep your opponent anonymous. So you gain more development. You played knight ge2, attacking his queen. His queen again went into the firing line with queen e5. Potentially, you know, white could play bishop f4, gain another tempo. Bishop b2, almost, you know, another very important tempo gain is facilitated. c6, and now you play f4, and the queen's kicked back. Again, it remains on the diagonal. So yes, there's violation of opening development. You know, just moving the queen around too much. So knight takes b5, and check g3, queen h6, and black now gets really punished because of this knight c7 check, forking king and rook. And white's just clearly crushing black here, materially up. It's all over. So check. And Mike, you played a nice move here, exploiting that pin on knight, check. And now a sweet finish. Okay, after the check, you have a beautiful double check available with knight e6, double check. And after king e8, yes, the mate in 1, queen d8. Okay, from the question that you've asked, yes, it does demonstrate some things which I guess everyday beginners are playing like this against d4. They're accepting the pawn, not really knowing the Queen's Gambit accepted theory, and you know, e3 might be actually more punishing if they're going to play b5, just keeping this diagonal, you know, open. But e4 is dangerous as well, and black hasn't developed pieces. Black's still holding on to that pawn. You know, sometimes that could be good, but here we see black's going overboard now in taking this d pawn. Maybe it's getting quite critical. Black should really get the queen out of the firing line here and start developing pieces and castling. But no, the queen's still involved, and black's just ending up losing material with his king actually being exploited in the centre, and just paying the price now of being mated. So, okay, so Mike, it was good. You punished the opponent's lack of development and the uncastled king. I hope you'll be improving over the next few months, and maybe send another game at some point in the future, maybe more sophisticated, more advanced, but this you know, good stuff. Okay, comments or questions on YouTube. Thanks very much.